Welcome back, fellow Gremboblins. It is I, Frito, and I am back to introduce part 2 of the Wonders and Blunders Halloween Spooktacle. Last time, the bosses discovered that Cedarsglen had gotten a major shakeover, and that they had taken a one-way heck-of-a ride to Bloodovia. With Pastry Lady's mom nowhere in fright, the bosses went to the Weary Wolf to question the Inn Creeper, who directed them to talk to the mayors. At the front doors of the castle, the bosses better hope they don't make too good of a thirst impression. Now, grim the lights and sit in your favorite queasy chair. It's time for Chapter 2. Enter at your own VAMPERIL.
The giant doors creak open, and you see this guy dressed in a butler costume like, "What are you doing standing outside, talking outside this door?"
We are waiting for invite in, as per custom.
Well, come in.
Thank you.
Bree just kind of shuffles past everybody. Kind of ushers you inside. The door opens into this like large chamber where you see big stone pillars with torches lit at the top, which line the sides of this chamber, which move up to a large set of spiral stairs with a red carpet that runs down the center of it. On either side, you can see a couple of closed, like large fancy doors that go into other rooms. And standing on the staircase, you see a female elf, a male human, and a male gnome. All of them wearing black capes.
Yes.
With like immaculately groomed hair and very well-fitted and revealing clothing.
I love you.
And they're also like kind of posed in a tableau. All three of them are doing the same pose. They all have a glass of red wine. And as you come in, the human says, "Welcome."
Right, after we wipe the tears from our eyes.
You are new to Bloodovia.
See, he did say Bloodovia, right?
Did I meant Bloodovia.
Yes, it's very nice town. Thank you.
You are very welcome. Thank you for visiting.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
You sound almost as if you are native to Bloodovia.
It reminds me a little of home, yes.
Very good. You will fit in well.
We are looking for friend. She looked like small one, as I point to the gnome.
Vladimir, do you have any family in town? And he says, "No." Not that I am aware of. Of course, it's not impossible. They could have ignored the rules, perhaps, but I doubt it.
No, I believe the one we're looking for, in fact, is a dwarf.
A dwarf. Well, we have all types in Bloodovia.
Her name, looking around quickly, is Diglin.
Diglin. Yes, the name sounds familiar. What of it?
We would very much like to speak to her.
Well, I do not know. I believe she came, she was living here for a brief time, and then she moved.
Do you know where she moved to?
No, it is none of my business where people move. If they do not like Bloodovia and do not wish to stay, who am I to stop them?
Well, I'm glad you feel that way.
Very good.
Perhaps you could point us to where she lived when she lived here, and any of her acquaintances. Perhaps they might know more about where she is moved off to.
Well, I don't believe her house was purchased after she left, so if you are also looking for property in Bloodovia, I'm sure you don't want to waste your money renting at the inn every night. then perhaps we could sell you her old house.
Just out of curiosity, what exactly is the price?
Oh, well, we do not ask very much here. Honestly, you can try it out on a trial basis. If you stay for, say, a full night inside, then... then it will be yours in the morning.
Oh, these sound like fair deal.
Honestly, it's far less terrifying or expensive than I feared.
But we will have to get it refurnished. There was a bit of a mess on her leaving. So perhaps tonight it may be best if you stayed here. We have plenty of rooms.
Gracious host.
Yeah, they are at that, aren't they?
Ben has just like got his book open
Like checking
to the vampire page and just like
Yeah, there's a vampire bingo on it. You just got bingo.
the picture of the vampire is just like it's on the exact same stairwell. Like looks up, looks back, holds it up, puts it down. It's the exact same tableau. They're in the same. It's in the same pose in the book. He's like, just like shaking his head. No. Got the Kermit the Frog face on.
You don't mind. We don't mind staying in a place without furniture. We can
No,
stay
we
there
could
overnight
not.
Anyway.
We could not allow this. It would be terrible of us. We have comfortable beds, much food. It's a much more comfortable place.
Well, thank you for your generosity.
You're welcome. I'll show you up. And he starts making his way up the stairs. Like, come, I will show you to your rooms. And the other two, like, stand on either side of the stairway as you come up and kind of, like, look you over hungrily as you walk past.
I return their gaze. Hungrily.
Yeah, Ben would be, like, attached to Rowan's hip. Just, like, real close.
And I'll have my hand on your shoulder, too, and just kind of, like, go up together.
And as you make your way up, the other two start to move up the stairs behind you as you move past them, and...
out of curiosity, what's the address of Diglin's house for tomorrow?
The address? What is... it's, 666 Dead Street.
Well, now that sounds made up.
No, it is off of Corpse Avenue.
Of course it is.
And it's just off the boulevard.
That was pretty good. Why is nobody laughing at
it? I've trained everyone not to laugh at anything. Yeah, fatigue. Trained everyone not to laugh at anything I say.
So the other two are making their way up the stairs behind you, and the human turns around and says, Morgana, Vladimir, why don't you make sure dinner is ready? And Vladimir says, oh yes, I will make sure. And he turns around and starts making his way back down, but Morgana says, I don't know how to
What does she say? What does she say?
I'm trying here, all right? It looked easy on paper. 3 Dracula accents is what I wrote down.
Wait a minute, these are Draculas?
Each one is a Dracula to itself. She says, oh no, I could not possibly allow this. I will follow you up. There are so many. You take 3, I take 3. It only seems fair. And he says, oh yes, you are always with good ideas. Let us, yes, okay, well, pick your 3. And she's like, and like looks over and says, I'll take, this one, and points to Vaelin, and then this one, and points to Bree, and this one, and points to Rowan. And he says, oh, no fair, you got all the big ones. And she says, oh, fine. We'll trade you for you, and points at Bree and Cara.
Well, I mean, that's my... well, that's something of you, but we're all going to stay together, actually.
Oh, well, all of our rooms fit one.
Well, perfect.
You
We'll all bundle
squeeze 2
together.
into them.
Well, we'll squeeze all 6 of us.
Oh, foolishness. Come now, and like starts like pushing you apart. and bringing you down like separate hallways.
Come, Benjamin. We will get a nice bath.
Then we are going to go with 2, right? 2 is better than 1.
Oh, you would like to do 2 to a room? I mean, I suppose this is possible. You'll have to share a bed.
Yeah,
It's okay.
That's all right.
Oh, okay, well, whatever. Lots of space.
And so he takes the 3 of you and he's like, I'll show you. Each one is about the same. So if I show you one, I've showed you them all. So Vaelin, Cara, and Rowan, he takes you into a room. And he's like, over here is the bed. And then he closes the door. And he's like, okay, listen, would you do me a favor? There's a solarium downstairs. Meet me there at noon tomorrow. And then he opens the door back up and he's like, so you've seen it. Why not take a look around and he says, well, we'll go find your friends. You want to split up 2 by 2. And you see Morgana about to enter a room with the other 3. And he like comes in and she's like, she turns around quickly and is like, oh yes, well, that was a quick tour. I suppose we'll leave you now to pick your rooms. We'll see you for dinner, maybe in an hour or so. Yes, it's only fit. Come and dine with us.
Yes, certainly. We'll be there.
You're all skin and bones.
Yeah, and then from Benjamin's backpack is just like,
Oh, a small wolf.
that was not. Big dinner.
And they kind of like almost glide away.
So we're
back
left
down the
alone
stairs.
now?
So you're left alone. Yeah, you're up in this stairwell, or at the top of the stairwell. So this hallway extends down both ways, and there are rooms lining each side.
Okay. Well, first of all, who wasn't? So you, Star, and Benjamin were not with us.
No.
Yeah. So the first thing I guess would be to tell them.
I'll just say it into everyone's head. Well,
Yeah, you like put your like hand on my mouth. I'm like, okay, well, guys, we're
She climbs you.
so
happens all the time.
Garen dropped the accent and wants to meet us in the solarium at noon. And I'll repeat that to Star and Ben.
We could use some sun.
Yes, it would be great to see if any of them can tolerate sunlight.
Well, let's keep that to ourselves, though. Okay.
I feel completely out of my element.
Oh, well, I'm there with you.
We finally find a nice town. They put us up. They give us nice room.
I think it's time for perhaps a little bit of a...
Exploration?
I was going to...
Explanation.
Explanation for Bree. Yeah, if I poke my head in one of the rooms and like look around, do I see any wolves or rats?
I'll
hope I don't miss the wolf.
If I help him, can he get advantage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really hope I don't miss the wolf. 17.
17. You see a bat. There is a bat up in the corner, and you can see like a hole in the ceiling.
Excuse me, Mr. Bat, there, or Mrs. Bat. I can't
It's like,
quite.
and its neck turns around. To
Oh,
look at
like
you.
the rat in the inn.
Yeah.
Oh well, I don't need to even. That's a hearing piece right up there.
Yes.
Bree, would you eat that bat, please?
Oh, very good.
Shakes and scammers and just like jumps on like a chair onto like the fireplace mantle and then like up in the air towards it, all in one motion, excited motion.
Okay. Yeah. So you jump up again. This bat doesn't fly away when it sees you springing towards it. You just grab it and eat it, and then from downstairs you hear, and then.
There's a large crash as I fall from the ceiling onto the floor.
Yeah.
Elegant solution.
Great hosts. Snacks in the room before dinner.
Everyone pile inside. We all
Yeah, so you're completely shoulder to shoulder. Like Bree's tail is like creaking the door. Like it's really.
Vaelin tries to like close the door behind us. Bree, let's give you a little lesson on what these creatures are.
They're real big predators.
I hold up my book and then open it up.
I feel like you like force it up between.
Yeah.
Pop it
There's
open.
just like
Everyone's like face to face.
Yeah, Ben's just like a podium.
Yeah.
So holding it up above him.
As Bree turns her head, her snout like moves her cheeks around.
Yeah, and I.
It's just a bat wing
we just
hanging
out. They are going to try to kill us, or slowly kill us, and use us as their meal packs.
Thralls.
Drain us down until we're very, very skinny.
And they've been dead for how long?
Well, it's hard to
Who
tell.
knows? Possibly centuries.
This is not good meat.
No.
Certainly not.
Well, this does. Why you keep taking me to towns with things like this? First spiders, they taste terrible. Now vampires?
Well, hopefully we can find the information we're looking for and get out of here quickly.
Bree has told you she does not like town.
Well, Bree, look at it this way. Now, you're real good at hunting. Now, how did you get to be so good at hunting? By going out and doing it and seeing the things you've got to hunt, right? Well, think of visiting these towns kind of like that. You're getting to know the habitat and how to hunt in it.
So soon we will get better at hunting in town.
Well, I'm a little frightened as to what you're pulling
understand.
from this,
Yes,
but
yes.
sure, all right. We can cross that bridge when we get to
His
it.
new
Yeah.
environment is many things to eat.
We'll have to be careful about what we eat, though. So, if you're not sure, you should definitely check.
Treat this whole place like it's some kind of tricky, poisonous swamp.
Excellent, yes.
I know poisonous swamp. At
Dangers at
home,
every turn.
There were grungs, tiny frog people. And when you eat, Bree does not eat, but Bree brother decide to eat. And after one day, brother is upset. After 2 days, brother is swollen up and big. Third day, brother is dead.
Oh my goodness.
So you have to be very careful what you eat, because there could be some bad consequences.
Okay, vampire is like a grung.
I'm sorry that you lost your brother in such a way.
Well, it happens.
Nonetheless, we're sorry.
Bree has lost many brothers. They should not eat grung. He's foolish. Bree hugs everybody.
Oh.
It's very cramped. Well, we have meal in hour. Is okay to eat?
If we can wait 10 minutes, if we can all delay 10 minutes before you put anything in your mouth, just pretend to eat for 10 minutes. I'll cast them.
Might they not notice you doing that?
Well, we'll just have to keep a dynamic conversation.
Yes, they might. I do have to say a few things.
Yeah, well, I mean, bees don't
And
make
draw a
honey
circle.
without work.
What if we told them it was a custom?
Mm-hmm.
Some sort of tradition or ritual that we follow, and it just wouldn't be possible for us to have our meal together without a few words.
Perhaps
If
we can
I
say
begin
that.
and if they ask, then yes, absolutely. I'll just continue.
Sounds like a plan.
Oh boy.
Okay, so do you want to do any preparations before dinner?
I would like to sharpen my stakes.
Okay.
Like to cast mage armor.
Classic dinner prep.
I don't think if we get stuck somehow and we're two to a room, one person should sleep.
Certainly, yes. Someone awake at all times.
I wonder, I mean, maybe this is going overboard, but while we're all jammed in here together, I wonder if we could come up with some sort of password or special code or something, just so things get real dicey, we know.
And knock on the door?
Yeah, maybe a special knock or something. So
Could it also maybe if we have a secret word, one of the people who talks into people's heads can tell it, so we never say it out loud.
So I'll look at Cara and be like, well, I guess it's up to you what that word will be.
Nettle.
The idea was not to say it out loud.
I didn't.
Oh.
So it was just in his head,
You
yeah.
just think my
Metals
head.
in people's heads.
Sometimes I get confused.
People have told me it's a little bit more echoey when I speak into their head.
And so that can be slipped into conversation if we need to make it clear to someone that we are not under any sort of influence. Don't make a big deal of it, just slip it in and then recognize it when you hear it, and we'll know who our allies are.
Well,
You can see Bria's like shaking her head, but is like not convinced of her own abilities to do this plan.
yeah, history.
Smash cut to dinner table.
Okay.
Dinner table.
So yeah, as you're like sort of discussing your plans, you hear like a ding-a-ling-a-ling of a dinner bell.
It sounded like the Batman scene change.
It is a bat. It goes back down, and you're sitting at the dining room table.
3 bad people.
So the bat signal swirls back out, and you're all sitting at the dining room table. Everybody had some wardrobe put in their rooms, in everybody's individual room. So what did you wear for dinner?
Bria's wearing one of these giant humped dresses, like Edwardian dresses that go out and cover her entire tail, to the point
One
that
of the
she's
big bows.
like, yeah, she's kind of got to sit on a chair sideways because their back like won't quite fit it. She's also got a corset on, but it is just like it is like tied together and bursted out to the extreme measure.
I feel like Brie cannot be compressed any more than she is. Like she's just raw, solid muscle and scale.
I think she's also got like a very large black wig on, one of those like almost like Elvira style, like really high up in curls. Yeah, and it's of course it's all like black and burgundy colored.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same color, of course. I've my fancy dress shirt that we got from the haunted mansion is made black, and for some reason in my closet there was a smoking jacket of the exact same cut as my normal white one, but it is velvet and burgundy.
Okay.
Okay. I'm wearing like
Oh, and a hat. Sorry.
Star
Just a top hat.
is like straight like Victorian era fop. Like complete with full collar, like frilled shoulders, like a vest over like a vest, and like his fur has been like dusted white with like, red lips drawn on.
Amazing.
Benjamin is in full tails, tuxedo, big bow tie, hair slicked down and back, and he's got his puppy on his lap, and she has a big bat bow.
I'll just say that Cara only changed the color of her shirt. She just got a red blouse, and she's got like one of those little leather fake corsets with some stakes tucked into it, pretending to be like the bones,
The ribs, yeah.
yeah.
I would be in like a what would be like a Great Gatsby summer linen suit. It's like white, cream colored. There's a little bit of mildew that you can kind of see on it, but that his like leather moss covered thing is working surprisingly well as like a 3-piece vest underneath his white linen jacket and pants. And he's got this blueberry bush moved down so it looks sort of like a cummerbund, which doesn't quite match the linen sort of summer look, but he really didn't know how to do this and just kind of saw Benjamin's tails and saw everyone else and was just like, yeah, well, I guess I could kind of do this. So yeah, it's a mix of his strange mossy leather armor and like linen and blueberry cummerbund.
Nice.
We've got a load of time periods in here. I love it. If you didn't already know they were vampires, the anachronisms of their closet would have given it away.
And let me just take off and unequip my armor and shield.
Yes, please.
There's a reason I'm wearing this huge puffy dress, and it's because there is a longsword built into it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Rapier is
I
at
would
the
love to
hilt.
hear where people have weapons hidden if you do have them hidden.
Oh, I have like daggers in my vest, and I still have my rapier, but like at my hip.
Okay. Just looking real decorative.
I've just got like the dragon staff as like,
Like a walking stick,
cane.
yeah.
And just like, I think playing with the focus in the other hand, like, just a fancy boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, the crossbow would still be at the small of my back underneath the jacket, and short sword would be just in its sheath.
I have all my weapons out in the open.
On the table?
I have none.
Yeah.
Don't have any weapons. So
And Cara's got loads of stakes loaded up.
And I've got my staff. pretending to be a walking stick.
Yeah.
As
okay.
normal.
It's fancy as hell. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you all go in. You're sitting around this like long table. You're all sort of seated on one side around the edge, and then there's a good like 25 feet, and then the three of them are sat at the other side. Garen is sitting, and the other two are leaning against the table watching you, with a roaring fire in the hearth behind them, and a big portrait showing the same scene above it. Yeah.
Are the eyes in the portrait like kind of watching us everywhere we go?
There's no eyes in the portrait.
There will be later.
Yeah, can we
Yeah.
role play a 30-second long uncomfortable silence? Just stare down the table at them.
Yeah, just the sounds of forks hitting like
Wow.
ceramic.
Yeah.
You look around and realize none of us are eating.
So everybody silence for Ciaran to do some Foley work. We can extend that.
Just like a light cough.
It's just a cough, a ticking clock, and someone like playing with their silverware.
And into this silence, Cara says, just excuse me while I do my pre-dinner planning.
You say this out loud?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's like, what?
And I draw my circle and cast.
It's a halfling custom.
Okay, so this takes 10 minutes,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I would love for everyone else to be doing things to make it so that they don't stop you from clearly casting a magic spell on their table. So throughout the next little bit, I'm going to ask you to make checks as they notice Cara doing this ritual. Because you're doing purify food and drink?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it's 10 minutes and definitely a spell. So you can sort of describe which part of the spell you're doing, if there's any like components or anything like that, or just like
The beginning of the spell just involves drawing out the spell pattern on the table.
Okay.
With a little bit of wine or water.
Okay, cool. So wine is served right away. Everybody's served red wine. And slowly the plates start to come out and like line the table.
Is it wine or is it blood?
No one's tried it yet. Honestly, it's in a clear goblet, and if somebody's blood looked like that, they would be very sick. I've always like when you watch a movie and a vampire is drinking red wine, you don't go, that's blood, because they look completely different. Like sometimes they play it off like it was, like they drink a glass of red wine and then like wipe blood away from the side of their mouth, and it's like, no, you have to be bleeding for another reason. That did not come out of that cup. Anyway, that's my rant about vampires.
That's one of your rants.
One of my rants. There will be many.
Wonder.
This is our side podcast. What the fuck with vampires, though?
I almost snorted coffee on my nose.
So all this food starts to get laid out on your side of the table, and the vampires like make their way down the edges of the table towards you, and Morguna seems to be making a beeline for Cara.
Why does everyone have to drink juice? I was just curious.
Oh, juice is a very important part of health and life. I find that in towns not enough people get enough juice and maybe don't have the energy. This used to be a mining town, and juice was a big thing we used to give out to give people energy. A little bit of sugar in the morning.
What did they mine?
Oh, iron, silver.
And juice helped them with that?
Of course. Helps, good way to start your day. Breakfast is one of the most important meals of the day, and juice is a big part of that. No matter when you have it. And also, what are you doing?
How long have you been living here? And have you always been in charge?
Who, me?
Yes.
So yeah, it's Morguna is making her way to Karen, kind of like ignoring these questions. Does anyone want to try to stop her?
I'm gonna stand up and sort of cut Morguna off.
Okay.
And just be like, tell me, Morguna, and then I'm gonna like draw my rapier. Do you duel?
And she goes like,
and just kind of makes some waggles, you know?
Oh no, that is a vicious sport. I do not partake in such barbarism.
Oh, but really? But it's far from barbaric. It's artistic. It's all about speed, delicacy, and then like I like make some like sort of like here you try, and I'm gonna give her my sword.
Okay, so make a performance check.
19 plus 5 is 24.
Great. Okay, so she kind of like is like looking past you at what Cara's doing, and then sort of takes the sword and holds it in her hand and starts like flourishing it around. And she's like, "Oh, am I doing it right? Look at me go!" And like, like
oh
swinging
yes,
it in
absolutely. Try more point.
Okay. And she like stabs through the pig on the table, and is like, "Aha!" And like she flings it up in the air, and the pig just like flies up and lands back on the table in like a clatter. And she's like,
Oh my goodness.
Vaelin applauds.
and she starts to like bow and curtsy for everybody.
I didn't see many other children in this town. Where do they sleep in the day, or
Oh
where
no,
were the
there's
children?
not many families in Bloodovia.
Must be sad. Why not?
Well, it is a working town. This is, in the mine is no place for children. For some time now, the people have not raised families here. I do not know why. Seems like a nice enough place to me.
If it looks like Morguna has is no longer distracted from the sword fighting, Vaelin would stand up. Mayor Baroness Morguna, do you dance as well as you duel?
Oh, I like to think I do.
May I?
Of course, but we have no music.
Harmless sensory effect. Yes. I will use prestidigitation to make faint musical notes.
Okay.
And start playing just like a slow waltz.
Okay. Yeah, she's like,
Oh, excellent.
So I can only dance with one hand, but one hand has to keep making these little hand gestures.
Mayors, if you have a flute, I could play it for your dance.
Sure, here you go, kid. Knock yourself out.
You didn't have to go and get it.
he kind of like flutes.
Just like a tray of velvet pillow with
three different flutes. And
You were very prepared for this possibility.
I'm always ready for someone to play the flute.
Man, picks it up. Picks a flute. Performance.
Yeah, and I'm helping out. I'm backing it up, like musical accompaniment.
It's a 14.
Magical.
okay, 14. So with this, I think you've got Morguna in sort of a trance of music now, and she's dancing around with you. Cara, you've started the next section of your spell.
I'm listing off, or I'm using verbal components now, listing off the plants that have properties for purifying things. So
Okay.
nettles and apple and
Nettles.
yes.
Okay. She's cool. Okay. You're like listing those things off, and you kind of bump and then turn to the side, and you see Vladimir just like looking at you. And I think Rowan and Bree, you would notice this.
Vladimir, now, when we got in here, we see a whole bunch of rules and stipulations about life here in the town. Could you talk to me more about how you came up with such a fine list?
Yes, it was all three of us were able to come up with this. It is, as a group, we are strongest in terms of mayorisms.
All right, let's go on.
Make a persuasion check. Is he still like kind of looking over and trying to figure out what Cara's doing?
18.
18? Yeah. So he's like,
Yes, I was quite proud of our constitution. It keeps people busy. It gives them something to do. There's nothing worse than waking up in the morning and not knowing exactly what you need to do in every moment of the day.
Well, sure. I mean, it takes all kinds.
Yes, well, it only takes three kinds here, and that is our fine mayors of Bloodovia.
So how did you guys meet, then?
Oh, well, that is a good story, you see.
Lovely.
Well, one of us became the mayor, and then, being old friends, they contacted the others, and we joined them. We always said, if one of us makes it, we'll bring the others up with us.
That's charming. A rising breeze moves all branches, doesn't it? But how did you guys meet to begin with?
Oh, well, that's a funny story that I'm not going to get into right now. I just don't feel comfortable divulging my past to someone I just met.
Oh, of course. Was it a long time ago?
It was sometime, yes. I believe myself and Karen. Oh, look at me. I'm getting off to a strange start. You've got me. You see what charming you are.
No, not at all. I'm just interested that you met Garen first. That just seems...
He kind of like reaches up and like pats your sides, and he's like,
You've eaten nothing yet. Please eat. We love to see you enjoy the food.
Of course, but you said yourself that we hardly know each other. I'd like to get to know you more. You seem like such a charming gentleman.
Of course, over a meal.
and he like reaches out and grabs two like chicken legs, and he hands you one and holds up the other one.
I'll take it, and I'll be like, now, someone at the inn told me that not much grows around here. So where do you find these chickens? It must be an awful lot of effort to get them shipped in.
Well, these aren't plants. So we can raise them.
Oh, you raise them? Whereabouts in town? I missed
just
that.
about outside in the courtyard.
Could you show me? I just have an interest in poultry, you see.
Of course I could. Come with me.
Yeah, I'll get up and...
And he, sort of walks you out the back.
Oh, I don't leave. I go towards one of the windows automatically.
Oh, he is not leading you to a window. He's leading you to the hallway.
I walk to the window and I'll be like, so is it down here?
Oh, no, you have to come to see it. You won't be able to see it from the window.
It is much too cold to be outside.
Yes,
It's
but
freezing.
perhaps-
You must not be from here.
Oh, you can borrow a cape. We have so many capes. They're very warm.
We should stay inside by fire, and I move over to the fireplace to what I can only assume there must be a pile of wood there to keep the fire going, and Bree starts picking up logs and just like cracking off splinters from them, and
They're all just like,
just like absently breaking them in parts and throwing them in.
We have people who do this. Please drop the wood.
Oh, it's no problem. I am very big and strong. I'm happy to break into kindling.
I insist. Make a charisma save.
Ooh, I fail.
He says, put that down, and you do.
Okay. I just immediately drop it.
And you hear when he says put it down, this time it sort of reverberates through the room, and I think like interrupts your music for a second, and things go quiet, and then it slowly like picks back up as he kind of like straightens out his cloak, and you see like Morguna and Garen both like give him a look, and he just kind of like waves them off.
Please, I would love it if you came to see the courtyard.
Oh, wonderful. Well, why don't we set a date for that right after this dinner?
Perhaps another day would be good.
And I'll say through this, Cara, what's your
I'm
last
finishing up the last step, which is sprinkling charcoal over the wine pattern on the table.
Cool. So I think that like was a pretty big distraction, Bree like smashing things and forcing him to act like that. So I think you're able to just sort of finish it up, and you see all the food just sort of like tingle a little bit.
Please, now, if you're not going to come look at the courtyard, you must at least eat.
And I take it, and I'm looking at Cara while I just kind of, and smiling, and I'll nod, and you'll, I guess, smile back, and I'll take a bite.
Okay.
Big giant grin coming from Cara.
So you, so they kind of sit down. They don't eat, but they watch you. And you see Vladimir like watching you eat, and he's like, "What do you think?" And he like lays the chicken leg back down on the table.
Does it taste like?
It's really well made. All the food is really, really well cooked, like with a lot of attention and some like interesting seasoning and stuff.
Well,
Honestly, I haven't eaten like this since I was home.
it's very good. Very
Oh,
good.
and where are you from?
I'm from Prolia.
Ah, very far away. So your family must still be there as well, huh?
A few. They're from all very various places, and they live.
But all far
at
away?
home. Far away, yes.
And are you in contact with them often?
Yes. Yes, of course. One never leaves home for long without checking in.
And he, do you want to make a deception?
I would like to.
In fact, I should probably message them right now.
That's a 4.
Okay, yeah. And he's like,
Okay.
Yeah, as Vaelin started to sweat under that one.
And are you heavy sleeper?
Oh,
Yeah, they are like
they know we
they're
are.
constantly
They
giving
know
you
we
wine.
Oh, you are tired.
Yes, I haven't eaten like this in a long time. I'm quite sleepy.
Ah, well, it must be important for you to get your sleep. We should not hold you up too long.
It wasn't that convincing a yawn.
Okay.
But they're also eager, I imagine.
So Vladimir is like,
Oh no, we are boring them with our company. Perhaps we should. We impose too much. We should not expect you to entertain us at every moment. We'll give you your space. Feel free to look around. Any door that is unlocked, you are more than welcome to step through. Please do not press any doors that are. And if any of you change your mind, just call out. It is a large house, but sound travels.
Yes, I imagine it does.
Veiled threat.
and they sort of like make their way out of the room. And there's a couple of like gray servants moving around who start like taking the plates away.
3 growls as one tries to take the pig.
And they're like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, just Ben puts his puppy on the table and it just starts going ham on the pig.
Yeah.
Well, if they've left us here, I mean, obviously, I don't imagine we're entirely alone, but it is a good way for us to just stay together for the night.
This is true. We could stay here for as long as we could.
They said there are many doors. They said do not push doors that are locked, but there are many other ways through doors than push.
You know, Bree, I like you. I like you.
Thank you. I like you too.
Let's
I
go
hug
find
you.
them.
It's really strange.
I lean into that hug big time.
Big dress in a way.
Well, why don't we find ourselves some locked doors?
Why don't we look at the unlocked ones first?
Because those are the ones they want us to go in.
But if we find something with Diglin's name on it in the unlocked door, that might be a message. I don't know.
Well, how about we don't?
It's worth looking around for sure.
Let's not say no to any door.
Are the servants still? Do they like slowly peter out of the room? Or?
Yeah, like they come to clear things away. You sort of snap at them while you're still working on things, or just say like, or wave them off, and they go on.
And is there any wood left over in that wood pile? I assume. Just thinking about making a few more of these steaks just in case.
I feel like the servants take it.
Okay.
Especially after Vladimir.
Realizing how bad of an idea it is for a bunch of vampires to have wood in the room.
Yeah, I don't think most people look at a log and think someone's going to crack this into sharp pieces and kill me with it. Of the questionable decisions they've made, I don't blame them for that one.
Well, I think we should look for Diglin.
So in the room we're in, what form of egress is there?
So there's the door that you left, and then there's another door. There's another 2 doors on the far end where the vampires were sitting. That sort of goes out onto like a widow's walk.
What's a widow's walk?
Like a balcony.
Yeah. an
Okay.
outside balcony.
Like one, like a long one?
Yeah, it like goes around the outside.
Okay.
I could not tell if you were setting me up for a joke.
No,
It's the
sometimes
exact same tone.
sometimes I do
As when
just
you-
ask questions.
I know.
I have yet to see it.
This is the first one.
Yeah, because it's the sort of thing there could be something there. You're just not sure what the joke is yet.
Yeah. Yeah, so you see those 3 doors.
Is there an area with 7 doors that we can all like split up and
Opposite sides of the long
upstairs
hall.
in the,
7?
No, 7, yeah, the puppy goes alone.
as well.
Yeah, the puppy goes alone.
It's the only one that makes it out alive.
Can I do a quick look around for any signs of a secret door?
Yeah, you could investigate the room.
This place is definitely maggoty with
So
secret doors.
am I doing perception or investigation?
Investigation.
Can I take the time while
it's
Rowan's
5.
looking around the room to cast Detect Magic as a ritual?
Sure.
Yeah.
How many paintings are in this
22.
room?
There are 3, and it's just the 3 of the.
Are there eyes in those portraits now?
There are no eyes in those portraits.
Still no? Okay.
Ben goes.
I get 22 on that investigation.
Yeah, so Ben would just kind of say to Rowan, like, check behind the portraits. I know in the ghost mansion there was all kinds of secrets behind the paintings.
All right, well, that's where we'll start.
So you make your way over to the portraits. They are pretty high off the ground, so this time it doesn't look like they would... Well, you weren't at the other one, but it doesn't look like there would be doors behind them. But around, like, the hearth, you see there are two sort of, like, porch sconces on either side, and when you're making your way around them, you see one of them has been rubbed down. Like, the soot has been rubbed off of it, and the other one is still soot.
All right, I'll try to twist it.
Yeah, when you sort of move it around, it clunks, and you hear like a latch go off in the wall.
Well, that doesn't sound like it was locked to me. It's opening pretty easy.
You pulled, you did not push.
Yeah, so do you go in?
I mean, it'd be hard not to be honest. But I look around like, well, I'm gonna go, and then I'm
Shuffling right over behind you.
Yeah.
Vael is just rushing to finish this ritual.
So this is like a space between the walls. So it's kind of like one at a time to get in. Bree, it's like extremely cramped for you.
Especially with this dress on.
Yeah. And it's getting like torn up on nails and stuff like that. And you see like a little staircase that leads up, and there are platforms of three slightly different sizes behind each portrait. And yeah, so you see it goes like sort of up there into this watching area, and then back in the other direction it goes around the wall. Around
So
the
I'm
corner.
picturing Bree and myself kind of shimmying. Oh God, this is tight. All right, and then up to this platform, like, all right, let's try the other. No, you gotta go the other way. And trying to like shimmy back. Go back. I'm stuck.
At one point, Bree's like, "Oh, another hug."
Are you drunk?
So you're making your way back the other way around that corner, and you see this like goes on for quite a while and branches off, and it looks like you can get to most of the mansion from in here.
All right, Bree, we should go and let
every,
everybody know.
like, it's pitch black in here, so you can't really see. Neither of you can. So you can't see anything really, but like as you move along, you're like feeling in front of you, and there's little bits of light every once in a while from two holes.
Right, okay.
And there's light streaming through those holes, just torchlight.
Well, before we go too far,
The dust kind of dust trails through the light.
tell me a story. No, yeah, before we get too far, Bree, maybe we should let everybody else know that this seems to be going on for a while.
Yes, it seems reasonable. I kind of back up and I try to poke my eyes as much as I can out one of the paintings in the dining room.
Yeah, in the dining room?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, some eyes slide into the portrait of Garen.
I think you kind of see like a snout-shaped bump appear and like push out the painting.
Oh yeah, I guess you can only get like one at a time from having to turn your head all the way.
Needle, pine tree.
No, it was nettle.
Nettle.
Ben looks up.
Bloodshot.
Like,
One eyeball and the painting pressed out a little bit. We find secret.
okay.
Come.
Okay, hold on. And Ben runs back and grabs his backpack from under the table, throws the puppy in, just tick, and then throws some meat in and throws it on his back. And
So I guess the rest of you would hear that. Vaelin, you I'll say at this point, with like the investigating the room and stuff like that, you've finished your detect magic. Nothing. Actually, the fire and the torches light up as magic.
Classic.
Evocation.
Very well. Lead the way.
Everyone into that wall.
Okay. So who's in the front?
I would be, but I'd probably step out and be like, well, someone probably sees better in the dark than I do.
I mean,
I
I
can
don't
go in the
think
front
there's
then.
any stepping out. We're like halfway through this wall right
Oh,
now.
yeah,
We
we're-
just told everyone to fucking pile in a train
That's
behind
true.
us.
That's
Okay,
true.
so Rowan, you're in front. So
I'm in the front.
kind of what you're able to do is go like peephole by peephole. So that's really the only frame of reference for how far something goes. So every once in a while, I think while you're making your way through, you make your way down and run into like a dead end and have to kind of shuffle everybody backwards.
Move back. Move back. This
I'm
is
gonna
dead end.
I'm gonna get behind Rowan and Bree and hold my little handful of fire down underneath, so like it shines through their legs.
Oh, okay. So
kinda
yeah,
nice.
you can get like a dim light going ahead of you to so you're able to sort of shine that down. So you come to Yeah, and it seems like there's a couple of different ways you could go. Do you want to check? What do you want to do? What's your goal in here?
Personally, I want to see if I can get a bead on either the solarium or either of our vampire friends.
Okay.
Well, unless someone tells me otherwise, that's where I'm going to kind of look for it.
So you're coming out of the dining room. So you make your way along the outside, and you peek through a portrait and see like the main hall that you came in before, and you don't see anybody in there, but you do see a door close on the other side of the hall, and you know that you'd be able to sort of get over to that side.
Well, I think I saw someone leave the other side of this hall. How about we I'm going to make my way around and see if we can see everybody with me.
So you start making your way along before you reach the other side of the hall, your passive perception picks up a faint line of light in the wall. And actually, I guess if you have the torch of flame out, you can actually see that there is another secret door here that leads back to the main hall, and on the other side that leads in somewhere else.
Oh, like on both sides of the little...
Yeah, but there's no portrait looking into the one on your right. On the left is the main hall, and on your right is another secret door. And ahead, you can see the 2 peepholes that would look into that room.
I'm going to put my ear to the one that has no peepholes.
You don't hear any.
Well, guys, there's another door here. Should I open it? Open it. All right. And I'll
So from in here, you can see the latch.
Yeah, all right, I'll pop that and like very, as quietly as I can, open it just enough for me to kind of get a look out.
Okay, so you open this up here, and like cold air moves in, and you hear like sort of a distant whistling wind. And as you open it up in here, you see a bunch of pews, and that's as far as the light goes when you crack open the door.
I think we found some sort of old chapel, maybe. And I'll listen again. Do I hear?
A perception check.
Oh, not so good. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
12? Yeah, well, and there's no pressure, so you can use the 18. You don't hear anything in here, just that sort of distant whistling wind, like it's sort of echoing through something.
Yeah, I'll kind of open the door the full way.
Okay, so the light sort of spills in, and you're able to like move into the room and sort of get some space. Does everyone follow? Go in here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I'm going off on my own.
I think so.
Unless something disturbs us. Okay.
Yeah, there's definitely, well, if there's anyone in here, they're being very, very quiet and hidden. It's like totally empty. The light is sort of dancing around on all the pews. You kind of like freak out a little bit every once in a while with the light, because it seems like the shadows on the wall are not moving in a normal fire way. It feels like they sort of like bend and almost like lunge at you, or like there's a figure sort of moving through them.
Any magic?
No magic.
Hear about this room.
But at the front, you see there's like an altar, and then a shrine that's been like tipped over and destroyed. And you see a big latched door that's been opened in the floor, and like a rug that's been thrown aside.
Well, that looks like something we should look at. Let's close the door behind us so that they can't tell where we've gone.
Is there? I guess there's an actual door into this church from like the hallway.
There is, yeah.
Do we see like a slide lock or anything across it?
It's not. It doesn't look locked right now. No.
Is there a lock on? Like
you could lock it.
Can it be
yeah.
locked?
It would be like
Lock
a barred
that door.
a barred lock that would come down and just stop it from opening it.
Star runs over and locks the door.
Okay, yeah, you turn it down. It clunks into place.
I'll have a look. I'll just peep down that trap door that's open.
It's dark. There's a spiral staircase going down.
What's this? The statue shrine is.
You can do a religion check.
There's no possible way I could get this unless it is a god of the jungle. This is like a 10.
Oh, I know some religions.
Yeah. You can
I do a check?
Yeah.
Can I do history though? Or it had to be religion.
It's religion. This is religion.
I got a 17.
Fine. I have a 22.
22? It's Selune.
Selune. She's the goddess of magic or something, and the moon.
Yeah.
And,
Good shifters.
shifters. Interesting.
What?
Yeah, and it's been sort of tipped over and destroyed.
Yes, she has a connection to lycanthropy.
So do I.
Are you familiar with her church?
Francis told me a little bit about her, I think.
Yeah. Who's
I'd say so.
who's Francis?
He was the cleric, was a friend of my family.
Was he a cleric of Salune?
No, he was a cleric of Palor.
Oh, interesting.
But my parents took me to see him when I went all, owly and started talking about Sindor and things.
Were you bitten by owl?
No, I was just born like this. What does what does it look like? Like the shattered shrine?
It looks like a bunch of vines sort of creeping up and holding a moon.
What kind of moon? Waxing, waning, full?
Full.
Is the moon whole still, or is that shattered?
It's been like tipped over and cracked like the wooden parts, but that top part is pure silver. And is not broken.
Ben is gonna run his hands over it, just kind of like look at it and pick it up.
You feel a bit of a resonance with it. I think it feels kind of bright in your hands.
Okay, how big is it?
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
You could almost use it as like an improvised mace sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like it's something you could wield.
Like it's cracked on the bottom and
It's cracked on the bottom, yeah, but it's still like those vines sort of start in a little almost like a sconce or something, and then work their way up and hold the moon above.
so it's a sphere.
The moon is a sphere.
I was picturing like
Yeah.
a silver dinner plate kind of idea.
No, it's a sphere at the top.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'll pick that up.
But not magic.
But not magic. I mean, maybe it gives off a dull glow like a focus would or something, but no effect put on it.
Yeah. There's no spell acting on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This could be important. Silver. They don't like silver.
Certainly worth bringing with us.
Absolutely. Now, did anyone get anything coming out of this trap door here? I can't see very far down.
I'm gonna stick my head in that door.
Down?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a spiral staircase, and when you stick your head down, that sort of whooshing sound gets louder, and you can almost like feel wind coming up on your whiskers.
But I just see spiral staircase going as far down as...
Yeah, you would have to go down the stairs more to see where it goes.
Okay. It's a staircase as far as the eye can see.
Oh, well, do we march on or do we go back?
You were curious about somebody entering another room across the main hall.
Well, I was. This is a little bit more of a juicy...
I'll go like a few feet ahead.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And sort of
So,
like wave people down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a 25 on my stealth.
Nice.
Bree just wants to like
Curiosity.
try to look down the hole and knock everyone over like in front of her accidentally, and as they all tumble down the spiral staircase together
Yeah,
and come out
the
of the
big
bottom.
metal thing just like bouncing all the way down around you. You come down in a heap on the bottom. So Star, you go a little bit ahead and peek around the corner. And with your dark vision, you can see that this is like a jail cell. It looks like a dungeon, like a small dungeon. It's a fairly small room, and there are a bunch of like chains sort of hanging off the walls down here, and like a small bed. And as you're like looking in to get a better look, everybody comes tumbling down the stairs, and you all come rolling into this room. But it is empty.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Oh, so sorry about that, guys. I missed a step there.
What? There's something behind us?
I'm okay.
I open my backpack and check on my puppy.
He's good.
Nibbling a little meat.
Yeah.
Your backpack airbags deployed, though. You'll have to get those replaced. And you hear now better that sound, that whooshing sound. And there are like slits in the walls here. And you can hear wind rushing past these slits, and it's almost deafening down here. It's like extremely loud.
I'll look out one of the slits. What do I see?
You can see like you can just see outside, and this seems to be sort of hanging off like an overhang that leads like off the side of the mountain. You can't see very well because they're pretty, but they look angled. This like you actually, I think you have like dungeon knowing.
Yeah.
Right. What is it called? I don't even know.
It's an archaeology background, but basically I can tell like the culture that would have made it and why, and I can also like, I mean, it says that I can like price works of art or things that,
right.
But I mean, I don't know if I'd know to sell it, but I basically I can identify it non.
You'd know if it's valuable.
Yeah.
So this looks pretty familiar to you. It's Elvish.
All right.
And these slits you've seen before in Elvish temples, and they catch the wind to create a desired sound. Usually that's like nice music, like it turns the wind into like musical notes, but this seems to be for maximum volume.
To punish the people in this dungeon.
Yeah, and that's basically what I share with you guys.
What?
Is it just one cell, you said?
Yeah, it's just one room. Yeah,
and,
one
and
square
it's,
room.
it's open, like we can get in there? Or?
Yeah, you're in there now.
Yeah, can I like dig around the bed or like dig around the walls, see if there's any like
you can do an
messages
investigation,
scratched out anywhere?
I'll help to give him advantage.
I stay in the doorway so that it doesn't spookily close behind us.
Yeah. It's the trap doors at the top though.
Oh, this room isn't like jail.
There are chains on the walls, but there's no door further to that trap door.
Chains on the walls. Okay.
Yeah.
15.
15?
And detect magic, I think is still up.
Okay. You like start moving the bed around, and you see there are like slits carved into the ground, like marking days.
Mm-hmm. How many?
5.
Yeah. Diglin was gone about a week. Doesn't prove anything, but...
Are the scratches fresh?
Yeah.
Do they look like they've gotten dirty?
No. It actually, they look pretty... I think it's pretty hard to tell if they're fresh or not, but they are still there, and they're not like carved into the ground, like they're marked.
Okay.
So they would probably fade if they had been here a really long time.
Yeah. Open to the elements and that.
I think you also noticed that the chains are silver as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now this seems to be some sort of cell underneath an old temple, and these are silver chains. Now, do you think maybe this is less to do with the vampires and more to do with maybe some kind of lycanthropy that happened previous to them showing up?
That seems a reasonable guess.
Now, the other side of that is that this is where those vampire friends of ours bring people that they want to turn. And they'll chain them up, turn them, and then when they're ready to work with them, that's when they get this right to move.
Would we know, can vampires handle silver?
How much do you know about vampires?
Everything. We're all pretty much
do
experts.
like a history.
Can I do Arcana?
Yeah, they're magic-y.
History is 16.
24.
24.
Did we know?
I did my reading.
Is Diglin a spider mom like Bridget, or did Bridget tell us what kind of? Never asked her.
She was a dwarf.
Because we know that the other ones
she's a dwarf.
like
They got-
trope into other things.
No, they got turned by Lily and
Right.
Lilia into like proto hags or whatever they are.
And then Diglin,
Diglin
taught her
was
how
a
to-
witch fighter.
yeah, and sort of showed her how to utilize her illusion magics and stuff like that.
So they are vulnerable to attacks from silver, but it's one of the only ways to harm them. But they can handle it. It hurts them a little bit, but not terribly. With a 24, I think you also know the things they are harmed by is sunlight and running water are the big ones.
Okay.
But we do know that lycanthropes and silver don't mix.
Lycanthropes and silver don't mix, no.
Well, these marks look fresh, but the rest of this room looks like it was built to hold the werewolf.
It does.
So I guess the question is, does that old use tie into how it's used now, or do they just kind of ignore that and use it as a handy hole?
Perhaps if we keep looking.
That's all that I can see to do.
Head back upstairs.
Okay. So you get to the top of the stairs, and you all kind of come back out into that.
I was waiting for him to say, you get to the top of the stairs, and the trapdoor is closed.
Yeah, it is not. The trapdoor is open.
Well, how does our door that we barred look?
It is open.
I look around.
You see Morguna. And
Good
she is
evening.
standing by the secret door. And she just says,
Well, it looks like you chose to ignore not going through locked doors.
Well, now, I don't think we came across a locked door at any point. We were very careful about that, because you are a
We
host.
found a handle, and we pulled on the handle, and we found a door.
We didn't push.
and she makes her way back across the room and she closes the door.
I mean, if anyone has stepped through a locked door, I hate to point fingers.
And you're like saying that as she crosses the room again, and she like re-closes that other door, and then re-locks it, and turns around and is like, okay, listen, I really need your help. And we'll pause there.
All three of them are gonna think they're
all three of them are pretending to be vampires.
So what? Are there like no vampires in this?
I can't tell you that.
What do you mean you can't tell me?
It's on.
What do you mean it's on? Oh! Poor bosses! These mayors really buried the lead on this whole vampire act. I guess the plot. Chickens?
Chickens?
What? Chickens are scary. In their eyes, there's like nothing there. And I don't like that little fin they have on their head. You like chickens? What a morbid fascination!
Oh my god.
Now, back to our adoring fangs. Tune in next week to see if the bosses can help Morguna, or if they all end up 6 feet plunder.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I know it was good.